Alright, operation maintenance diesel electric locomotive tm55202, 55202. 101 battery. The general section 11 part or chapter 11 section 2 battery system 101 general 101 battery general. The principal purpose of the storage battery of the diesel electric locomotive is the supply of the cranking of the engine, also supplies the control and lighting of the circuit before the engine is started. The auxiliary generator normally supplies the controlled lighting circuits after the engine is running. The battery is made up of 32 cells furnishing 64 volts nominally. Depending on the working schedule of the locomotive, seasonal temperature changes are located beneath the frame, beneath the cab of the floor, the adjacent running board, or in the component next to the cab. The battery consists of a group of the positive plates meshed with the group of negative plates of the wood and the pore separators between them. The plates are immersed in solution sulfuric acid and water called with electrolyte and fully charged battery. The acid electrolyte, specifically gravity, is the maximum. The battery discharges acid electrolyte combines the chemical with the plates with the lead sulfate. When the battery is being charged, the reverse action takes place. B. The battery switch is normally operated with a double pole single throw switch in an equipment cabinet on the nearly panel below the connection of the battery auxiliary to the auxiliary generator. Controlling the circuits, personnel must not work on the battery in the battery compartment without first opening the battery switch. All flames such as lighted matches, cigarettes, and sparks must be kept away from the batteries. Tools must not be laid on the top of the circuits. Battery armature. The battery armature indicates the rate of the charge. The discharge of the battery should indicate the various zero to various charges readings where the engine is running depending on the condition of the battery. Immediately after cranking the engine, the auxiliary generator is to restore the current, and the ammeter should register a charging current until the battery is charged. And an excessive charging period may be due to the poor condition of the battery voltage regulator. Continuous discharge will drain the battery, but conditions require corrective maintenance. Battery charging is here's a picture. Battery circuit. Here's a 32 cell battery circuit going from east on both parallel circuit directions into both a single throw switch at 100 and a fuse of 1057, meeting a generator at the end or BA and BR, back around to another one where it comes into a parallel circuit that runs off to another throw switch on B, which runs through a resistor on the RC series to a heater, fan, mower, and also to the fuse 103, 104, following to a trip line where there's a series of R1 and R2, and the RC difference goes back up to the fuel. The fuel pump goes from the fuse to the fuel pump, the heater. The fuse from the 104 and 103 runs into a small resistor in the auxiliary generator. The auxiliary generator coming around back to the switch before the 32 battery cells runs into a floating coil, fixed oil, negative F resistor current, and then in through a GF series and an A plus, looks like a meter, I guess. I don't know what the needle switch is. Charge auxiliary generator. The voltage regulator maintains the voltage across the battery. All engine speed. The battery may be charged from the other circuit of the terminal yard of the circuit of the external charging receptacles. Be assured of the connected to the battery related circuit. The purpose may be disconnected to the external circuit of starting the engine unless the shop circuit is capable of furnishing heavy current involved. The proof the distilled water has been added once a month before the level is lowered to the splash cover. Do not add the higher than 1/8 of an inch below the bottom of the fillings for the supply, and adding water, replacing the surely tighten the bundling plugs. Writing the direct record should be kept at the amount of the water added to the month. Each month, harmful overcharging indicates the monthly procurement is more than 1/2 of the inch per cell month. 1/2 of the inch per cell month is required. Undercharging is indicated. The figures water addition is based on locomotives being in a daily service. Lesser amounts will be used in lighter services. 102 reverse current relay. The RCR, the reverse current relay. The reverse current relay opens a battery contactor between the auxiliary generator and the battery, which engine shut down the auxiliary generator. Voltage drops in the load to the charge of the battery that prevents the battery from discharging. The auxiliary generator windings is magnetically operated by the voltage current. oil and current coil. The common field of both coils close to the relay auxiliary voltage build up to the charging valve while the current flows to the right direction, that is in charging. When the current flows in the opposite direction resulting in the field spring action opens the relay. B, the reverse current relay or the RCR. Reverse current relay on the MRS1 locomotive consists of an armature yoke with a voltage coil. The current coil mounted on the magnetic circuit of the current coil terminates as the two large studs at the bottom, and at the voltage circuit terminates with one of these studs, and one of the small studs at the top of the two adjustable resistors at the top of the air. The voltage coil circuit of the lie hinge arrangement within normal closure. The normal opening interlocking makes the contact with the station at the front and the rear of the contact studs. The armature is held with the normal open position return spring. The armature assembly consists of the upper and end of the lower iron core bridge assembly. The upper core holds the voltage coil, the lower core holds the current coil. 103, the battery contactor. The battery contactor open and closed at the change of the circuit. The response to the setting of the reverse current relay described above is a single point of the heavy-duty direct current of the contactor with a conventional magnetic blowout coil extinguishing the arc. Do not confuse the contactor with the battery field contactor with the main generator fields of the circuit during the engine starting. 104, the voltage regulation. The current voltage setting of the mill maintained with the specific gravity electrolyte is the full charge without generally exceeding the water loss of the given in paragraph 101D. It is not fixed. The valve depends on the working schedule of the locomotive seasonal temperature, in which necessity is a slight change of the voltage setting. A necessity of the changing of the regulator setting on the determining satisfactory maintains the continuous record of the specification gravity readings, water addition temperatures, and in-specific gravity shows the continued lowering of the reads to 10 to 20 points below the full charge value. The regulator is set to low the locomotive working schedule and showed the increase with the gravity checks the continuously full charge value, and the electrical light temperature is more than 15 degrees Fahrenheit above the outside of the outside of the air. The amount of the water at each of the month exceeding the maximum of the voltage regulator set to the high and must be lowered. B, a voltage regulation auxiliary generator is outlined by the changing of the strength of the auxiliary generator. If the speed of the auxiliary generator is increased due to shunt field strength must be decreased. The regulator may consist of a small torque motor or often relays which are sensitive to the change of the voltage of the movement of the elements and changes of the resistance of the field circuit. Hunting, they may be prevented to the dash put assembly the electrical resistors regulator adjustment of the chains except for the person who are familiar with the various types. A torque motor system regulator windings connected with the main leads of the auxiliary generator being controlled. The shaft extends from the panel, operates the actuating some shaft, assembling the tandem. The actuating shaft assembles operating the air dash inputs and mains. The flexible recall with the spring of the coupling and the also main shaft and spring through the main shaft assembly operates the main shaft assembly through the connection link. The main shaft assembles they operate in the sector roll over the stationary communicator segment out of the resistance and in and out of the auxiliary generator field circuit is required main constant voltage. By this method, the very small movement of the torque motor armatures multiplied with the much of the greater the movement in the contact sector, the consequent rapid changes in the shunt resistance. The operating principle of the voltage regulator and the voltage generator, the proportional shunt field strength and its speed and auxiliary generator increases the shunt field strength that must be decreased to maintaining the constant voltage. The voltage regulator increases the resistance of the field, thereby reducing the flux and excitation. Its speed is auxiliary generator decreases the shunt of the field strength and increases the maintaining the constant voltage. The voltage regulator will move the sectors to reduce the resistance of the field, increase the current flowing in the field and operation. To the torque motor of armature will be tended to change the position, change the voltage. Auxiliary generator is restrained at the mainspring. The torque motor mainspring setting is adjusted for the factory so that some of the voltage is required of the balance of the armature against the contour torque of the mainspring of any of the position. This external condition of the generator speed load and internal shunt field, the resistance temperature change and change the torque of the motor armature. The armature will move the sector in direction to the cut and in and out the shut on foot field. The resistance reestablish the voltage new positions of the armature for the reason the setting of the mainspring must not be altered in the factory setting unless it has been definitively determined for the armature does not place in the same voltage every position. Any change of the flat characteristics of the armature of the cause of the corresponding error to the voltage difference speed of the leads of the generator. A new mainspring that should be in preference to charging in this factory setting, and the actuating shafts assemblies move the recall spring and the cause of the movement of the dash pot piston and almost immediately with the actual shaft of the torque motor armature. The fork of the quick change of the field resistance sectors to move the new position. The dash pot follows the interval ladder. This is the anti-hunting feature with the regulator and makes the restraining effect of the actual shaft proportional to the error of voltage, preventing its overdraft of the shafts, resulting in the objective variation voltage. At the same time, it allows the rapid restoration of the voltage after the change occurs. The anti-hunting characteristic adjustment means the slide of 11 need of the value of the dash pot. The travel of the torque motor armature is limited in point of the actuating shaft operating between the two stops. Section 3, engine starting and stopping. Engine starting system. All wear down.